Hello, everyone. Jen Fuentecilla here, Director of Christian Education at First United Methodist Church in Chula Vista, and continuing with our Gen Talks with a staff member this time. RaeLynn was so nice to join me this morning. Hi, RaeLynn.
Hey, friends.
So how has this whole time been for you?
I think the best word to use is chaotic. And chaos can be good and bad. So I think that that's a good overarching word to use. There's been a lot of things that have shifted and things that I'm learning how to do that I never thought I would need to learn how to do. So yeah, chaotic, I'd say.
Chaotic. All right, that's a good word. I think many people can agree with you. Now you're our Director of Youth and Young Adults at church, and give us a little idea of how you feel that youth have been holding up during this time.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of admiration for our youth and the fact that they have also had to shift their entire way of living and learning onto this virtual platform. And I'm very impressed, honestly, with our youth and their teachers in just adapting. I think that the one thing I've noticed is that kids are zoomed out, like, or screened out even, which who knew that that day would ever come. And it seems like they are overwhelmed by the amount of screen time that now they're required to do rather than choosing to do, which I think it used to be. And that can be a little bit much, but I think that they're doing great. I've seen a lot of them one-on-one in some calls, and we still meet on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights and just kind of have fun together. We still do a youth group lesson on Sundays, and so we really dig into some scripture and some life application. And then on Wednesdays, we've kind of focused more on just catching up and checking in and seeing how we can be together. We've played some really interesting games. It's really hard to do games digitally, turns out, but we've had some creativity pop up. Right now, we're actually going through a series on Wednesday nights. Each student makes a Kahoot, which is a game that they use in the classroom. It's kind of like an online quiz, and each student is making one about themselves. So we'll get to learn about each other, one person each week, and really dig into what makes them who they are, and get to know each other on a deeper level than maybe we would have in an in-person setting. So it's been really interesting, but great. I think it's been great.
I think that a lot of the parents want to thank you, RaeLynn, for the ways that you continue to reach out. And I speak for myself too, because I have a youth who can be challenging, especially during this time of sheltering in place. So I think that a lot of youth parents want to express our thanks to you for the ways that you continue to care for them.
Well, thank you. I have learned how to rewrite with my hands. So I've been writing a lot of letters as well. And that's probably my favorite part, honestly.
I have to ask, I know that people have been experiencing a lot of loneliness, and a lot of people think of obviously those who are in nursing facilities or in care homes just being very isolated. Now, would you share that some young adults have been feeling this sense of isolation as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, specifically with some of our college students, a lot of them are kind of gearing up to enter the workforce and graduate from college. Some of them live alone, and they're experiencing a lot of those feelings as well, in addition to the mourning factor. So we have 2 of our interns are graduating this month, and they're kind of like mourning the experiences that they won't get. They won't get to walk across the stage for the 4 years that they've worked really hard for this degree. And same with our high school graduates and even our middle school promoters. I think there's a sense of mourning in addition to the sense of isolation. I think for young people, the one kind of benefit is that they've grown up with technology. And so in order to, use it to its fullest, it's helpful that they know kind of the ins and outs. I'm not that much older than many of them, and I am struggling with some of it. Like even getting the Zoom call to work was a nightmare this morning. So I think that they do have some advantages, but they're really used to being immersed in community, especially if they're attending college or school of any kind. They see their friends almost every day, and now they see just their family, which is not the worst, although they might argue differently. Um, but yeah, I do think that that sense of isolation really does span across multiple generations.
And for you as human being, RaeLynn, what has been the most challenging for you? You shared that life has been chaotic, but what has been most challenging for you?
I struggle with anxiety. So I think for me, just the influx of information that I'm trying to make sense of, I don't want to turn off that part of me and not pay attention to what's going on. But I also, there's so much information out there that it overwhelms me. And sometimes I can spiral into this just anxiety ridden human or shell of a human sometimes. And so learning how to balance that and really reach out to people when I'm kind of falling into that cycle has been different. I'm a very social person. I'm an extrovert, like so extroverted. And so not having my in-person support has been challenging, because I've had to learn to find support in different ways. Luckily, I have a really solid group of friends, and like our staff is so close that I know I could reach out to any one of them. And it's been really great to know and to really see that network in a different way. But it has been really challenging.
What would you like to lift up in prayer at this time or share with our congregation?
I really want to pray for our students, of course. That's always at the forefront of my mind, and just the transitions that they're going through. I've had a lot of phone calls and emails with students that are really not sure what their next steps are. Like, do I take a gap year? Do I just do this digital learning and see where it goes? Do I try and get a job right now? You know, all of these questions that are racing through their minds. And like our students that are younger, and the loss of like team sports and the loss of having, you know, birthday parties, the simplest things that they're really struggling with losing, that weighs heavy on me, and finding ways to support them. Yeah, that's a big one. I'd say the other one is just the world. I mean, we can always be praying for the world, but I've been paying a lot of attention to the racial injustice, and a lot of the uprising in those communities against specifically our siblings of color. And that's been weighing heavily on me as well. So I'd like to lift that up in prayer.
Yes, absolutely. And anything that you'd like to share with our congregation until we're able to gather in person again?
I just miss you guys. I miss being at the crossing on Sunday mornings. I miss being in my office, which I never thought I would say. But I do, I miss routine. But really I miss the people that were part of that routine. So I can't wait to see you guys in person one day, hopefully sooner than later.
Yes, absolutely. I share in those sentiments. Thank you so much for making your technology work this morning. Chat
Sure.
with me. Gotta love technology.
Of course.
All right. You take care and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.